Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to be going over Activity 7-4 using security templates. This is from the MCTS Guide to Microsoft Windows 7. In my edition of this book, it starts on page 299. To begin, you'll need to get logged in. It does note that if you've completed the previous activities, your password will be changed to simple. So remember to get logged in correctly. Then you're going to go to Start, All Programs, Accessories, and select Run. If you're looking for a shorter way to do that, you can hold your Windows key and press R. And then we're going to type MMC into the box and hit OK. When it prompts you, say yes to open the console. Once it's open, we want to go to File, Add Remove Snap-in. And then in the Available Snap-in section, we want to scroll down to the Security Templates. We'll double-click there. And the Security Configuration and Analysis, we'll double-click on that one, so they both come over to our selected Snap-in box. And then we'll hit OK. And we'll see them both come up over here. So on the left, we want to expand the Security Templates. And then click on the next folder down there. And we can see that there's no template stored here by default. So now we can go ahead and right-click and select New Template. We're going to call this Standard. And in the description box, we're going to give it the description Standard Workstation Security Configuration. Then hit OK, and this will create a blank template for us to use. Alright, then on the left, we want to expand this and expand Standard, the one we just created. Make this a little bit bigger so we can actually see what we're doing. And we see that it now has a list beneath it. So we want to expand Account Policies and select Password Policy. We want to double-click the Password Must Meet Complexity Requirements right here. And select Define this policy setting in the template. We want to put a check mark in that box. Leave it as disabled. If it defaulted to enabled, select Disabled. And click OK. It does note in the book that this is not recommended for corporate environments. This is just being used as an example of one of the settings that can be configured using security templates. You may have noticed that I myself am doing this inside a virtual machine, so I'm not creating any actual vulnerabilities on my real machine. Alright, so once we've done that, we're going to come back over to the left side here, expand Local Policies, and select Security Options. We'll see all of the options in here. So we're going to scroll down and double-click on Interactive Login, Message Title for Users Attempting to Log On, right here. So we can double-click on that to open it. We want to define this policy setting in the template, and we're going to hit OK. What we've just done is we've gone through and we did this to undo the changes that we made in Activity 7-2 where we created this interactive logon message. We're doing this to remove it so that it's no longer there. Alright, so on the left side, we're going to right-click Standard, and we're going to tell it to save. Then we're going to go ahead and minimize Standard and Security Templates. Then we want to expand Security Configuration and Analysis. Sorry, we want to select Security Configuration and Analysis. And so since we don't have anything created yet, it's going to give us some instructions on how to use it. So we're going to right-click on it over here on the left, and we're going to select Open Database. In this dialog box, for the file name, we're going to type Analyze, and we're going to click Open. This is going to create an empty database so that we can import security settings. So on the Import Template dialog box, we're going to click Standard. Yours might have the extension standard.inf, so go ahead and open it. This will import the security settings from the standard security template that we just saved. So it'll import these into our database. And then we are going to right-click on Security Configuration and Analysis and select Analyze Computer Now. On the Perform Analysis dialog box for the error log file path, go ahead and hit OK. Don't worry about changing that. So this Analyze Computer Now that we just ran compares the security settings in the database to the security settings that are currently applied on this computer. So next we're going to look at the account policies. So under Security Configuration and Analysis, we're going to expand account policies and click on Password Policy. And we note that there's a red X here beside password must meet complexity requirements because the setting in the database is different from the setting that the computer is currently using. So we're going to go ahead and expand local policies and select Security Options. And down by that interactive logon that we changed, there's going to be another red X because the setting in the database is to define it but leave it blank, whereas the computer is currently using this. So that red X just shows that the database setting is different than the current computer setting. So we're going to go ahead and minimize local policies, and we're going to right click on Security Configuration and Analysis, and we're going to select Configure Computer Now. Go ahead and hit OK on this for the error log file path again. Don't worry about changing it. And so that takes all of the settings from that database and applies them to the computer right now. So we can come back to Security Configuration and Analysis. We can right click and tell it to Analyze Computer Now one more time. Go ahead and hit OK on the error log. And if we go back into the account policies and the password policy, we'll see that it now has a green check mark. And that's because the computer settings that are currently in use, they match the settings in the database now because the database has been applied to the computer. Alright, so we'll go ahead and close the console. We're going to say no to saving it. Then we're going to go ahead and hit Control-Alt-Delete. On my virtual machine, I need to come up and pass it through this way and tell it to change a password. So the old password, again, was that simple. Make sure I type that correctly. S1MPL3. And the new password, we're just going to type password. So it doesn't meet the standard requirements for complexity. There's no capitals, there's no numbers, there's no punctuation or symbols, so it's very simple. And because of the way that we changed the security policies for the computer, it should not have any problems accepting this password. So you can hit enter, or you can hit the arrow here with your mouse, and it should change password successfully. And that's just because we removed that complexity requirement for the passwords. It looks like that's pretty much everything for this activity. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below, and I'll see you in my next video.